Yo guys. So welcome back. It's a new tutorial here. And today we'll be walking through how to comp stuff in. So for example, this big project I'm working on, the Clint challenge, so much stuff going on. I have a little dog walking here, got some people walking in the background, got a little robot thingy that I just added in, got this dude chilling here, a whole different plate mix of different comps. And let's say, I have everything rendered out and I just want to add this little one thing robot. It's going to take up a few pixels of the screen. So instead of having to add it in and re-render the whole thing, taking like 5 hours, I can comp that in separately, which is way faster. So I'll just show you some basics on how I would go about doing that. So yeah, it seems like a lot of people don't know. So this might be a pretty interesting tutorial if you're one of those people. Who cares? Let's jump into it. So here I have the project file and I got my robot added, and I just want to render this little guy, but you can see that he does pass by a bunch of foreground elements like the dude walking here, but we don't want to render that stuff because that's going to take forever. So what you want to do is you want to put the robot in one collection. Here I have the robot, and in the other layer I have stuff to hide. Like these are not, I have one light source, it's not visible, so I can just delete those. So I have the camera and the robots in one scene and one collection, and then I have the rest in a little layers. So let's say I want to render this out. I'm gonna go into render mode, and this is a pretty intense scene, but we'll see how it goes. Come on, yes. So currently gotta switch this back to normal. Yes, so this is how it's supposed to look. But we don't want to render all the other people. We don't want to calculate their data. So what you want to do is you want to take the layer where all the people are at and everything, set that to view layer and hold out. That's gonna make it a mask. So you can see that the dude is having his arms right like in front of the robot, and he's interacting with it. You can see the mask going right there. You can see it's kind of an invisible thing. So if I would, for example, add in a big plane here, you can see that it gets a lighting and everything from the different objects, but the other stuff still acts like a holdout. So we'll still like cast shadows and lighting, but also act as masks, which is really handy. So we only have this robot, and I also, if you hit Control B, you can make a selection of where you want to render. So my robot only goes like in this area, so no need to calculate everything else. So that's really handy. But yeah, let's say also one thing you gotta do is you gotta set the film to transparent. That's gonna make your background transparent and all the whole dots. It's really important because that's gonna allow you to put your robot into everything. Now there he is. Yes. And he's going to interact with everything else correctly. So what we gotta do now is just render this, and I'd probably suggest rendering in maybe 50 frames or 50 samples for something like this. Optics denoiser because it's the fastest, and I'll be back once the render is done. Okay, we're back. The render is done, and we're gonna be comping this inside DaVinci Resolve just because DaVinci is kind of free, while After Effects is not. And I'm trying to learn Fusion because node-based compositing is so, like, it's the way to go. It's so much easier to wrap your head around, and you have so many possibilities. Like, every node can be connected to everything, while layers only are like two-dimensional, only up and down. So let's just kind of walk through how I would go about doing this. And I'm still learning. Like, I'm only scratching the surface of like Fusion. I've been doing it for like a few days, so this is what I know so far. So I'm gonna bring in my little footage and hit change. I have my comp right here, and some weird stuff is going on. Oh yeah, this is the weird comp. Okay, I'll bring an old one in. This is already color graded, but does not have the robot in it, and the dog is really great, like glitchy. But yeah, we want to Fusion comp this, so select the layer, go into Fusion, and this is kind of like in Blender. You have your principled BSDF in this case. Not really though, and this is your output. So everything that goes into this one will be displayed basically. So it's kind of like layers, because you, like, everything you add in between will end up here. So every effect essentially in layers are nodes, but you cannot really interconnect them. So that's the cool stuff about this. I'm not gonna be walking through Fusion too much. I don't feel qualified to even do that, but I'm gonna hit this little button so we get a full screen view. And if you hit Control Spacebar, you can search for all your effects, which is really cool. And if you want to drag in another render, you can do that. I'm just gonna bring up my robot render, select it all, and bring it in like that, and it will create a layer or node for you. So it's gonna be robot, and I actually do prefer comping ups, like from top to, like, top down, but I think this will be a little easier to display. So one thing you want to do in this case, you want to go into Arrange Tools and set it to Connected. So that's going to make it will snap to grid like that. It will snap, so it will be a little more organized. And also you want to go to Fusion settings and set the user interface to ignore. And that's gonna make it so you can, oh wait, no, that's the wrong thing. Fusion settings, ignore twice, and that's gonna make it so you have your Blender navigation. One thing that's kind of annoying is that if you hold in, you can also scroll at the same time. So I find myself accidentally trying to move around and like accidentally zooming out or in, but you just gotta get used to it. So we want to merge these two compositions into each other. And how do we do that? Well, we can use a merge node, and either you can search for merge, it's gonna basically merge them together like a mix node, or like an alpha over node, or you can just connect these into each other, and that's gonna create a merge node, which is really handy. Why aren't we seeing anything here? And I think that could be because yes, the robot is connected into the blue output. We want to connect it into the green output. Now it's looking weird. Maybe we want to shift these. So I think one of these is the correct one. Like, one is the background and one is the foreground. So what you can do is you can hit Control T to swap the inputs, and that should do something, I think. Huh? Why is nothing happening? This robot should be on top here. That's hella weird. I'm just gonna do this again, so you never know, you might have done something wrong. Connect these into each other, and gonna plug those into each other. Still nothing, huh? That's really weird. Maybe we need to, I don't know, man. Can copy this one over here and use that as the mask. And we could probably add a color correction node in between. And we can go into the levels, just bring up the contrast. So it's essentially black on white. And if we use that as the mask for these, we have to set the apply mode to luminance. Okay, it's something is happening. We just need to invert these. So we'll add in an invert color node. And something is happening. Great. It's not looking too good, but it's something is happening. I don't know why these wouldn't work. It might have been I don't know, man. I really don't know. But what we can do, we see this really fat black edge on the outer layer, so we could probably go into you cannot tweak the alpha. That's not really good, but we should probably be able to add in another color corrector node and go into the levels again, and we can kind of tweak. Yeah, we have to apply the pre-divide post multiply, and then these are gonna work correctly, I believe. They should. Oh yeah, we gotta enable this one. No, that's the wrong one. Sorry. So we need to add a color corrector node right here. That's it. And then you set this one to be pre-divide multiply. And we can go into levels, and we want to tweak the brightness and contrast and black levels. So you can see that this is the darkest level, and you can see that this is way brighter compared to the darkness of this robot. So we want to slide this one up until it's kind of the same. Man, I think it's really weird. Still, like, this should work. Maybe it's some wrong setting on the merge node. Wait, this is, sorry for the inconvenience, but I'm just gonna try this one more time. Maybe if I just add in a merge, might be some default setting when you do the little trick there. So we connect that one up, and yes, we have that one, and then we connect this one. Maybe screen. Oh, I think I know why. Might know why. But that's really weird. So these are black and not transparent. That's why. Okay. So I don't know why that happened. I didn't render the opacity, which is really weird. Like, what? That explains it. So it's not seeing any black and white values really. But what would be the best way of doing this then? I'd probably still use this little trick here and just make sure you're using the luminance value. Isn't this one supposed to work? Is it inverted again? What? I'm so confused. But then we can put this in. And if you want to just like move this one out, without having to, like if you want to put this in between here, you can hit shift and hover over and it's gonna work. Same with removing it. That's a really cool thing. So guys, if you do it correctly, this should not be an issue. You should be able to just merge these together, but I am a little stupid today, so I'll have to do it this weird way. But let's see if I can reset this Luma mask thingy. Yes. So the robot is right here, and we want to get rid of the weird black thing, which might be really hard actually. So I'm just gonna put it kind of there so we get some smooth edges still. And we want to match the colors here, so you can see that this one is obviously more blue. So I'm gonna bring the master value to kind of match that color, and I'm gonna add a blur here, and that's gonna add a really big blur. Now is there a way of inverting that so it goes inwards? Man, I'm not too familiar with this. Maybe a Luma key, not sure. Wait, what does the Luma key even do? Contract, expand. Oh man. Okay, I don't have time to learn new shit in this tutorial, so I'll just have to kind of go through how you would do it. So I think that the robot, that the weird edge is kind of bugging me out, but we'll have to deal with it. Can add a blur here to make it less clear, because I feel like it's too sharp at the moment. Maybe 0.2. Great. And I'm gonna go into the shadows here because they're way too dark, and I'm gonna make them a little brighter. Yeah. And maybe that's the contrast. I would bring down the gain. The lift. It's kind of hard to tweak with, considering now it looks really weird. So maybe if we add another color corrector node and bring down the gamma so it kind of matches these levels. I think that's pretty okay. And we want to make everything more bluish greenish. I would love to get a way to get rid of the black edge. There probably is a way. A row to dilate. Yeah, is that the thing? Yeah, that is the key. Okay, just a row and dilate. It will kind of be a little glitcho. And I didn't render the whole thing, but that's the basics on how you do it. And now this looks really weird, considering the light, like have a light flare on top of this footage. It's already like, it's kind of the worst tutorial footage, but you can actually go in and color grade this yourself, kind of tweak it. So we want it to look like this right here, so we just add keyframes to everything basically. Then at the start we just tweak it so it looks correctly. I'm gonna bring down the contrast, bring down the gain. That's still pretty shitty. try to match the background color. I see it's more kind of pinkish, and now the two different color things will match a little better. And we might do the same for one of these. Maybe not. Yep, probably not. But, I mean, yeah, it's kind of the basics on how you add shit. I could go through another example on how you would go about this. Maybe some other time. But I guess I don't have more time. Like, After Effects is way easier for me, at least, to do this, considering I already have done it a million times. But I mean, if you're just starting out, like, don't even do any comp what is it called, like comp work. Fusion is the way to go, man. Like, you can get the free Fusion version, or the DaVinci Resolve Studio, or not the Studio version, but the free one will not include all the nodes, but it will have some of them, which is great. But yeah, that's how I do my shit. And this is same for the dog here, same for this guy walking, same for the whole city. Actually, I have a mask around here using a mist pass instead of the other version. And I also have a little dude here who's also a separate comp, and this guy in the foreground is also a separate comp. The little rat is actually not a separate comp, but it's a great way to work if you want to not re-render everything. So yeah, hopefully y'all learned a thing or two, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.